Peacemaker Season 2 features one of the most existentially horrifying multiverse concepts out there, and I'm well and truly disturbed. It takes a lot to get me feeling squeamish, but Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 2 definitely succeeded with one of the darkest DCU scenes. Although there was some humor, the ramifications of what was happening are still pretty haunting. The multiverse is a concept superhero fans should be familiar with. This includes its unique existential complexities, like the bizarre ethics of the MCU's Loki falling in love with an alternate reality version of himself. However, it feels rare to see something like Peacemaker Season 2 getting so dark with the multiverse, as seen in the new DCU show's second episode. In Peacemaker Season 2, Chris Smith had to dismember and incinerate himself. Peacemaker and Vigilante dragging body in Peacemaker Season 2. At the end of Peacemaker Season 2's premiere, Chris Smith discovers a brand new dimension via the quantum unfolding chamber, one that looks better than the DCU's main reality, featuring both his brother and father alive and well. Not only do they love Chris, but all three of them work together as a superhero team known as the Top Trio. Likewise, it's also revealed that this alt-reality Peacemaker had a romantic relationship with Emilia Harcourt that our Chris has always wanted. However, this alt-Peacemaker attacked Chris when he discovered him in his room. Once their fight entered the QUC, Chris accidentally killed the alt-Peacemaker, impaling him on a spiked ceiling fixture. Calling Vigilante for backup in Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 2, the duo disposes of the body by hacking it into smaller pieces with bone saws before incinerating the remains. As such, it's absolutely horrifying to see Chris having to take apart and burn the body, cutting into what is essentially his own flesh while staring into his own dead eyes. What makes it even worse is that Chris had already told Adrian how disturbed he was by interacting with his own doppelganger, even before killing the variant and having to cut up his body. Chris and Vigilante cutting up alt-Peacemaker. Sure, Adrian is having a blast as a complete idiot sociopath while Foxy Shazam's Evil Thoughts plays. However, the full sequence in its entirety is quite disturbing the more you think about it, especially if you put yourself in Chris's shoes, who's obviously experiencing some uniquely heinous trauma throughout the entire ordeal. I've never been more disturbed by such a dark multiverse concept. Burning Peacemaker head in Peacemaker Season 2. With as much as we've seen from the multiverse in both the MCU and DCU, it's quite impressive that James Gunn managed to find a means that would still take people by surprise. Likewise, things will undoubtedly become even more complicated now that Chris Smith has returned to this other dimension, as seen during Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 2's ending.